Yep, I'm Bear with BearIndependent.com. It's Thirsty Thursday. It's windy. Can't do anything about that. You may hear a young child in the background. Good. We're happy for that.
He's tactical.
He's tactical.
We can flex and then block the wind.
Yeah, we could flex the wind right off the porch. Yeah, so this is our weekly kind of Q&A hangout sesh. And, oh, you want that water bottle? What? If you get it, you're going to fall right off of there. Yup.
Hopefully it's not just picking up this microphone.
I don't know what's up with the dang microphone, man. It is what it is. Sometimes it works great. Other times it doesn't work great. Half the people complain about the audio quality. The other half the people don't. And then I'll go back and listen to it afterwards. I'm like, that sounds fine to me. So, where did the forums get moved to? The forums don't exist anymore. At least they won't at the end of this month. All the really good stuff, though, has been migrated to the Bear Independent Discord, which is a function of your membership to Patreon. So, shalom, Tony John. Good to see you. So, if you want to get on the Discord and be a part of everything that's going on in the Discord, that's a function of your Patreon membership. So you can go to patreon.com, search for Bear Independent, and you'll find that there. And the forums are kind of a relic of our very old Bear Independent site, and the platform that site is on is just not conducive to the way that Bear Independent has grown. So we need a new website, and so therefore, pay to play. I see how it is. Pacemaker. So we're gonna talk a little bit here, some rules here in a moment. I'm explaining to you why this is Pacemaker, but one of the rules is don't be a dick. And so I'm gonna ask you politely to not be a dick and hear out why I'm talking about this now. The website's old and doesn't work for us anymore, and we can't keep the forums and migrate to a new website. So therefore we have the Discord, and it's necessarily attached to the Patreon page. And by the way, I think that the content that we produce has value, and I give y'all a lot of myself for free here on YouTube. And then there's a whole separate, completely independent stream of content that's completely exclusive that's over at Patreon. And I guarantee you it exceeds in value the $5 per month you pay for it. So those that want to be at Patreon are welcome to be there. Those that don't want to be at Patreon don't have to be there. I'm not like grabbing you by the ear and pushing you into a corner and going, listen here, asshole, sign up on Patreon. Like, I don't do that. But it is what it is. And yeah, by the way, we pay somebody to administer the Discord. Imagine that, because a workman is worth their hire. That's exactly right, Jus Jefe. That's exactly right. So yeah, it's a function of Patreon now. So. And there's over 2,000 exclusive pieces of content there. If you don't think that's worth $5, you probably don't understand how money works. So, I hear you, Bear. I'm just angry because I'm broke. Well, Pacemaker, with all due respect, don't take that shit out on anybody else. You fix you, homie. Don't project that out onto other people. Jeremiah Johnson, got my mini stomp and my womb bucket yesterday. It's fantastic. Thank you, Jeremiah. I appreciate that. I guess there I go, war profiteering again, right? Charging people money for life-saving equipment. Could you believe that I would do such a thing? What a scumbag. What a scumbag. Why don't I just give it away for free, right? Yeah. See my point? Roger that, Pacemaker. We're straight. Let's keep it between the lines, you and I. Both of us. Both of us are going to keep it between the lines. All right, well, we're 5 minutes in. Let's read the rules. The rules of the live stream. Yes, the show has grown to the point where we require rules of a live stream. So, first rule. This is a PG-13. Love you back, Pacemaker. I love you back. This is a PG-13 show. So if you're one of those people that let your kids watch the show, that's on you, homeboy, homegirl. The second rule is don't be a dick, okay? The person above you or below you in the comments, that's your brother or sister, all right? Don't be a dick. Which brings us to our next rule. No excessive swearing. So if it's not a word that I say, it's not a word that you need to be saying in the comments. This is predominantly like GD, which is like nails on a chalkboard to me. Like, no GD, please. And also, effer and MFer are words that we typically avoid at this channel. All right? Now, civil conversation is encouraged in the chat. So, that's for y'all people to be civil to one another, and also for the moderators, the Blue Wrenches. If people are disagreeing, as long as it's respectfully, let them disagree. We don't all have to be homogenous. We can disagree. That's okay. We just can't be disrespectful about it. Okay? Put your questions, and that's the whole point of this evening is questions. Put your questions in caps. That way I have a higher likelihood of seeing them. If I see the question and it's a question I want to answer, I will answer it. If I don't see the question, I won't answer it. If I do see the question and I don't want to answer it, I won't answer it. Also, if one of the moderators, one of the Blue Wrenches, answers your question has been answered. You don't need to keep asking it if the moderators have already answered it. The vast majority of these moderators, I know and do life with. They know my answers to these things because we do life together, and this is not their first shindig. It's not, they know what my answers are going to be. They're intimately familiar with my ethos and my content. So, thank you, Jason Hart. I appreciate that. What's in stock? That's a great question. We'll answer that one first in a moment. Jerks will be banned after the first warning. This is not a democracy. This is my porch. You are in my home, and we're going to respect each other in that regard, okay? Most of your basic prepper questions have already been addressed in a free playlist here on YouTube called the Prepper Classroom, and I would encourage you to go check that out for the basics of, like, how to store food, what food to store, what is commo, what do I need for security, how do I do an area study, how do I build a mag, how do I blah, blah, blah. Prepper Classroom, man. So, and then, as always, Bear Nation is your code for free shipping on everything at refugemedical.com, which, frankly, is a huge deal right now because we're running into some very large orders. And we had to have a conversation with somebody today, like, we're getting to the point where promo codes are not a thing anymore. Because just being able to get the equipment to fill the orders is a huge deal right now. The entire world is scrambling to get medical. In fact, we can talk about that a little bit as well. The entire world is scrambling to get medical. And so the whole, like, yeah, we'll just use a promo code for a thing. Neg, dude. Negative. So, use promo code Bear Nation while you can. I see many people are saying the word baby. Yes, indeed. Very astute, your observational skills. There is, in fact, a baby. So, that being said, use your promo code Bear Nation for free shipping while you can. Kate Bremer, TJ, I'm here and everyone is watching. What do you want to say to me? I want to say good evening to you, Kate. It's great to see you. Or read your comment or whatever it might be. Now, what's in stock? That's a really good question. Buckets?
I'd say if it does not say out of stock, you can still order it. You're going to end up getting it. Whether it's going to take 3 weeks or 6 weeks, it will be sent to you.
Yep.
As soon as it says out of stock, means you can't order it anymore for a while.
Yeah.
So I would order it now if you want it within the next 6 weeks.
Let me talk to that. So also, this is like barely in the holder thing. Stand by, people. What we're not doing is what's that company? Opticsplanet. I despise Opticsplanet. Oh, and I have to be careful because they're so big now, and I have to be careful to not say other companies' names. I despise Opticsplanet because they take your money and then will send you an email immediately saying, thank you for your order. That item, even though it just showed in stock at the store, is not in stock. And we'll send you an email update for when it is in stock. I have Opticsplanet orders that are a year old right now that have never shipped. Have never shipped. They took my money, never shipped. So we don't do that, okay? If we take your money, you're gonna get your product. Otherwise, we're gonna make it so that we can't take your money. You can't order that product if we're unable to fulfill it. We operate with honesty and integrity, and so wound care buckets are in stock. Individual components are not available for order right now. Like if you just wanted to get a couple of emergency trauma dressings, you can't because we can't buy onesies, twosies from North American Rescue or Tactical or TACMed Solutions or Medline or Olays or pick a company. You can't get them. You cannot onesie, twosie anything right now. And so complete kits is what you can order because we are having to, the orders that we're having to place are so big that they're frankly a little scary. But we've been told, fear nothing but Yahweh your Elohim, and so we don't. We don't fear those things. But we have literal pallets of pouches coming. We have literal pallets of tourniquets and pressure bandages. We had 4 pallets of gauze come in today from Medline, pallets of bucket stuff. We've been going pretty heavy on inventory. So yeah, SOB kits, we got 7 POs for SOB kits out right now. Cody from Sojourn Gear settled in, working underneath our roof right now, filling orders, which is awesome. It's a big deal, man. The whole world is scrambling for medical equipment right now. There's things that I know that were told to me in confidence that I cannot tell you. It would be bad business, and I would be betraying people's trust if I was to tell you. So I can't. But if you know me well enough to trust me, I'm telling you the whole world is scrambling. I can tell you that the DLA, Defense Logistics and Agency, which falls under the DoD, Department of Defense, is scooping up medical components left and right. Like, based on that indicator alone, I think, it's my guess, I think that NATO is going to become embroiled, and by NATO I mean the United States, that NATO is going to become embroiled in a war in Eastern Europe sooner than later. So, it's one hell of an indicator. So, kits or gas masks, we don't have money for both. I think a first aid kit's a lot more applicable to everyday life than a gas mask is. You got, statistically speaking, the most dangerous thing you do is drive. And statistically speaking, 91% of preventable deaths in the United States come from uncontrolled bleeding. And so you got a 9 out of 10 chance that you're going to need to deal with uncontrolled bleeding. You have a probably less than 1% chance you're ever going to need to put a gas mask on. So that's my opinion. I did also want to mention, for those of you who are more medically inclined, if you're like the medical person and one of the medical people in your mag, Hotshot Homestead, I appreciate you, man. This book right here, this is out of print, but if you can find it, it's called Tactical Paramedic. Okay? And the Tactical Paramedic course, this is basically the course book for how to become certified as a tactical paramedic. and written by David Calloway, MD, and what does it say in the front here? Certification and practical application for the tactical paramedic. This is a great book. It's a great reference to have. It deals with TCCC, TECC, Tactical Combat Casualty Care, Tactical Emergency Casualty Care, which is the civilian side, the phases of TCCC, Care Under Fire, Tactical Field Care, CASEVAC, and it deals with all types of stuff. It's got good stats in it, good illustrations, and it's essentially the coursework for taking the test to be certified as a tactical paramedic. And there's sample tests in here as well. And so I would recommend get this book if you can. It's a really good reference. And also the Ranger Medic Handbook. And I don't think you should be one of those people who are like, I bought a book that I know nothing about, that if my buddy gets blown up, I'll whip the book out and read it while I'm trying to perform field surgery on him. These are not those kind of books. But if you already have some or even a good bit of medical knowledge, they're good books to have because you'll understand the stuff that they're talking about. Same thing with the Ranger Medic Handbook. Like if you've been to our level, Responder 1, Responder 2, Responder 3, then you're probably at the point where this book starts making sense to you. And if this book starts making sense to you, then the Ranger Medic Handbook will start making sense to you as well. But that's just a recommendation there. Any updates for Caleb House and or Grindstone? Yes, the first update is that Caleb is with a K, not a C, although I appreciate that. Then the second update is that I was just speaking with a brother today. We're going to start scheduling the groundbreaking here within a couple of weeks, and I'll be shooting some content from there. But we have to be very careful with our communications around what exactly is happening with Caleb House, because it's legitimately controlled information. It's legitimate operational security because of the nature of what we're doing. To that point, we've had a lot of people reach out and be like, I want to be directly involved in helping with Caleb House. And I think that's absolutely awesome. I can tell you this, if I've never met you before and laid eyes on you, do not just come here and think that you're going to help with Caleb House, because the answer to that is absolutely not. Let me again reiterate, this is a legitimate tactical consideration because there's very bad people that we're essentially stealing their product from. They treat these kids who've been serially raped as their product, and we're stealing them back from them and rehabilitating them, and they want their product back. And so if 146,000 people on the internet know where their product is, guess what? So do they. You see the issue here? And so we have to be very careful with our communications in this and how that works, and even our own legitimate operational security. And so if I've never met you before, don't think that you're just going to come here and help with Caleb House. Now, I appreciate where your heart's at, but it cannot work that way. And if I have met you before, then there's a likelihood that if you're welcome on my porch, you're welcome to work at Caleb House. And there's more information coming on that. But even I'd love to show you guys the blueprints that we have worked up. You realize that those blueprints need to be redacted and sanitized before I can publish even a little bit of what's going on there? Like, this is the level of security that we're talking about. Is that a baby or a puppy or a cat? It's a baby puppy cat, man. You never seen one of them? So, green screen looks peaceful tonight. Thank you, Glenn Miller. Oh, good evening. What is a good med kit to throw in a range bag? You need a blowout kit for a range bag. You basically need, at a minimum, you need a tourniquet and 2 packages of compressed gauze and a pressure bandage, which would be a basic bleeder kit. And you need a couple of chest seals at a minimum, but really a bare fac or a bare minimum. You should have an SOB on your gun belt for sure. It handles all that stuff. SOB kit from Refuge Medical. But you at a minimum need a tourniquet, a pressure bandage, some compressed gauze for wound packing, and a couple of chest seals if you're dealing with a negligent discharge, because if the negligent discharge occurs from somewhere between the neck and the navel, we're going to deal with that with chest seals. If it's in the extremities, we're going to deal with that with a tourniquet. If it's in the junctional areas like the shoulder, the neck, the pelvic girdle, the ass, we're going to deal with that with wound packing and pressure bandages. And if it's in between the belly button and the groin, aka your guts, we're going to call 911 and spit up a Metaflight and make sure that there's a surgeon on hand right now, because in the field, the best that we can hope to do with that is to cover that injury and expedite care for that person to the very top of the list. So, Adventure Kit is what I'll be bringing to the range. Absolutely. Adventure Kit just rocks. It's just an absolutely awesome kit. There have been several other kits at times we've thought to put together, like, oh, what if we had a kit that would like did this and did, and it was like when we realized we were describing the Adventure Kit. And it was like, well, what if we should come out with a kit that has this, this, and that, and it does this, and oh, that's the Adventure Kit. And so it just covers all the bases. Bama Buckeye, shalom, brother. Opinion on military surplus LBV load-bearing vests. They can work just fine for you. The LBV, the nice thing about an LBV is a lot like with a chest rig, where you get to decide whether or not you're going to wear armor. You can run like a slick plate carrier and then throw your vest over that with all your pouches and pockets and everything already set up. If you're not running armor, you just put the vest on. If you are running armor, you put your plates on and then the vest on. And so I would recommend getting the vest a size larger than you think you're going to need it. What's the wait time? What's up, Texas T? What's the wait time for the Adventure Kit? I think about 4 weeks right now, which is like really freaking stellar considering the fact that we're probably marching towards World War III. Yeah. But so size your LBV vest a little bit bigger than feels right when you're not wearing armor, that if you want to be able to wear armor underneath it. So
Doug Fever had a good question.
what is it?
Said tips for a young dude out of college or high school trying to get ready for what comes next.
Oh, I've done a bunch of videos on this. Young dude fresh out of college or high school trying to get ready for what's next. The first thing is take care of your body. If you're fat right now, stop being fat. Start PTing. Like right now, just stop. If you're young, it's never going to be any easier for you than it is right now. I don't care if you've got one leg and you're missing 4 fingers on your other hand. I don't care. It's never going to be easier for you right now than it is right now. So start PTing. The next is knowledge is free and you have a supercomputer in your hand. Start learning. And learn things that are useful, applicable. I would also recommend finding a mentor. Somebody that knows more about the things that you want to know than you do, and provide value to that person, whether that's free labor or doing shit jobs for them or showing up early and staying late or whatever, listening to what they have to tell you. Find a mentor and let them pour into you, and understand, set your ego aside and understand that there's lots of people that know more than you do, and you should listen to them. There's lots of people that know more than I do right now, and the reasons I know what I do is because I listened to people that knew more than I did, and then I actually did what they told me to do. I acted on what they told me to do. That's the word I was looking for here. What else, man? It doesn't have to be expensive to be good. That's another really good point. Like these just sold out on Patreon. This is the Bear 3 knife, right, by Fleming Fabrications, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. These sold out that fast on Patreon, and they're fabulous. However, this is an Ontario Knife Company Rat 3, and the Rat 3, I can buy 8 Rat 3s for the cost of one Bear 3. Okay? Doesn't have to be expensive to be good. Now, you can balance that by buy once, cry once. Okay? And so don't buy trash, but it doesn't have to be expensive to be good. And you probably have enough stuff laying around your house right now, an old backpack and a piece of rope or some paracord or some twine or whatever, and a painter's drop cloth or an old poncho or something, and a decent knife and some matches and a Bic lighter and an old tin cup, and you got your 5 C's of survival right there. Cordage combustion container cover and cutting tool right there. So, and then like, again, you got a supercomputer in your hand. Learn.
I'd say don't be afraid. I would say don't be afraid to do the things that make you uncomfortable. Start being uncomfortable now.
Very good
It's
point.
much easier when you're younger to let me go out into the woods and sleep in a tent for 3 days.
Yep.
So do those things.
Learn how to make a fire. That's something that's real big. Learn how to ruck. The simple thing of walking, laying down and standing up. Not many people could do that. That's extremely difficult for a lot of people, young and old. Set a timer on your watch, lay down on the ground, and stand up, and then that'll really show where you're at physically.
Yeah, that's no joke. So the first time I did that for 2 minutes with Dudley. I was like, what do I got to do? He's like, get on the ground. I'm like, okay. And then when he goes, get up. I'm like, all right. Then what do I do? Get on the ground. I'm like, all right. And then what? Get up. Okay.
Some more?
Do that for 2 minutes. And I'm like, all right. 2 minutes to fall on the ground and get up? That doesn't sound very hard at all. About a minute in, you're like, gosh, dang, this sucks. 90 seconds in, you're like, I think I'm going to die. And by 2 minutes, you're like, just get down and get back up again. Get down.
That whole thing, we go down your knees and just stand up.
Yeah.
Go down on your knees
Oh,
and
yeah.
stand up. You're like,
And
this is easy.
get you a kettlebell. What does a kettlebell cost? I don't know. Probably one shift at the Dairy Queen. Get you a kettlebell and start swinging the kettlebell and throwing the kettlebell.
Oh, yeah.
And curling the kettlebell and shoulder pressing the kettlebell and just like... Brian Ayers. Hi, Bear. I wanted to say thank you directly. I'm the 35th life your kit saved.
Woohoo!
Brian, bless you, brother, man. That's freaking awesome.
He's the...
Yeah, he's the round through the knee. I'm gonna read your testimony at some point. I know, Brian, I know you and Fo have been having some back and forth. And once it's like official that we're allowed to read your testimony, I'm gonna. Fo just gave me the thumbs up, so I'll probably do that on the brief tomorrow. So, but Brian, thank you so much, man. I'm sorry you're going through that, but I'm super happy you had a first aid kit there to save your freaking life, dude. It's a huge deal. So, and this is the thing, man. People are like, I don't know if I need a first aid kit. Like, you don't. First aid kit, maybe you do, maybe you don't, because you can fix a lot of stuff with a paper towel and a roll of duct tape. But you need a bleeding control kit. You need a trauma kit, because if you F that up, you die. Somebody said, where did it go? Stephen C. Bear, do you see value in a personal trainer fitness in a mag? Hold on. I'm going to have a brother of mine answer that for me. Hold on. Hey, brother.
Hey,
Do you see the value in having a personal fitness coach in a mag?
most definitely.
Okay.
The only issue is if you a lot of people have lives, so it's difficult unless everyone around you is focused on that same mission and goal. It's going to be hard getting people to get on your schedule, or you would have to curtail your life to get on their schedule for everyone to put in the work. If you make yourself available to them and they want to get out and do it, good. If not, if it's for your group, make a mandatory day that is required for everyone to be out there and go and work out. So you have to make the opportunity, and then everybody will fall in line.
Yep. And then you could start setting the tone from there.
Yep.
And so we're blessed to have that brother right there who's like professional MMA fighter, training all these different disciplines, fitness coach, strong AF, like can kick you on the top of your head if you deserve it. Like,
oh, hey, let me chime in one more thing.
Okay.
But every fitness is different. I bring violence to the table, like physical hand-to-hand combat, I have the ability to allow everyone here at camp release that anger, that stress, that frustration through physical combat, whether it's wrestling, jiu-jitsu, or boxing or kickboxing. I have that strength and ability, and I can go for hours with that. However, I cannot ruck for a very long time. I can run longer than I can ruck, which is very difficult to say. I didn't notice that. I was sitting around trying to understand, like, wait, oh, I used to have this exact same problem when I would get ready for fights. There's this mountain in New Jersey off of Route 22 where I would go to the top of it. It's like a 500 or 600 foot elevation. I would go at the top, park, and run down the hill, and then run back up. I was able to do that. It was about 1.5 miles, but a 590 something foot elevation. I could do that easily, but I couldn't walk down it and walk back up. I felt like I was going to die. But if I would just start running, I was fine.
Interesting. So we have this beast of a man over here, right? And we have access to all of that knowledge, and we still, frankly, have a hard time getting everybody on the same page, knowing the value of having that expertise, right? And knowing that it's available whenever we say. And so it really comes back to, like Dudley was saying, it comes back to intentionality. Like, you just have to be intentional about it. And he's also completely correct. Like, we were doing a thing a few days ago, and he came up in conversation. I was like, Dudley can whip my ass, but I can ruck him into the ground. Yep. Because he's had more experience whipping people's asses, and I've had more experience rucking. And so what's PT for you and what stresses your system might not be what stresses somebody else's system. And everybody has their strengths and weaknesses. You know, we have brothers that run for fun. And I'm like, that sentence is like Jumbo Shrimp or Army Intelligence. Running for fun, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Galil, it can open bottles. Do you know why the Galil has a bottle opener on it? Because Israeli soldiers were using the magazines, the feed lips on the magazines to pop open beer bottles, and it was bending the magazine lips, so they went ahead and put a bottle opener on the Galil. But anyway, what's PT to you might not be PT to somebody else, and we all have different areas where we need improvement. And so you should get everybody together and at least get a baseline of where everybody's strengths and weaknesses are, and then develop a protocol around that. And you could at least make recommendations where it's like, all right, you know, Jim needs to work on this thing, and Bob needs to work on that thing, and Bill needs to work on that thing, but you know, Jim's actually really strong, and Bob's really flexible, and Phil is, you know, likes to throw caber tosses his thing. He's great at throwing telephone poles or whatever, right? So I think there's a lot of value in that. But it comes back to commitment and intentionality. So, yeah. I can't run. Me either, the Red Tower. If I'm running, you need to be afraid. Bear, do you think there's a practical use for 3D printers? Zane Stearns, I'm positive there are, but I don't know enough about 3D printers to be able to flesh that out in real detail. But I have a general idea of what they're capable of, and I think they really are. Okay, RJ Brown, does Refuge Medical put any of the training class videos on Patreon or anywhere else? So, no. But if you look up Bear Independent Tourniquet, you'll find videos on how to put on a tourniquet. Or Bear Independent Chest Seals, Bear Independent Pressure Dressing. Like, you'll find those videos here on YouTube. You'll also find videos from lots of other people. And Skinny Medic, for example, Dietrich, that guy knows his stuff. He's got a lot of good instructional videos. But we don't have videos for training. And the reason we don't have any type of pre-recorded video for training purposes is because people tend to mistake instruction and information. And it's very easy for me to make an informational video about how to put a tourniquet on. Hell, here we go. This here is the Soft T tourniquet. It's a TCCC Tactical Combat Casualty Care Committee approved tourniquet. It's 1.5 inches wide. It has these 2 rubber bands right here. You pull this off. This is a windlass tourniquet. And the way that a windlass tourniquet works is by constricting the inner band, which allows the bleeding vessel, which runs along the bone structure inside the musculature, to be pinched off to constrict the bleeding vessel. We apply these high and tight above the wound. We pull like this. You have to ratchet this one down because it's a soft T. You want to get this initially as tight as it will go. You keep the windlass in your workspace. This is why I hate this freaking tourniquet. There we go. I don't like this tourniquet for self-care. You're going to spin this until it hurts. I like to tell people it's 1 turn past bad words. And you're going to grimace and make this face like that. Yeah, I hate this one for self-care. And then you're going to lock this, the windlass, inside of the ears right here. Like so. And there you go. Tourniquet is on. That's informational. Okay? That's informational. What it's not is instructional. Because here's the thing. Look, you can see the vascularity in the back of my hand already. My veins are starting to pop because there's no blood running. Okay? But what I can't do now that I just told you all that, and you put this on, is I can't take my 2 fingers and check your pulse and make sure that you don't have a pulse. Because if you still have a pulse, it's not on tight enough.
You gonna die.
And if it's not on tight enough, you gonna die. And if you gonna die, what's the point of putting this on in the first place? And if you practice putting it on wrong so that you gonna die, is a loose tourniquet better than no tourniquet at all? A loose tourniquet is no tourniquet. There's a story we recount in one of our classes of a combat medic who got blown up overseas, GWAT, unfortunately. And why do I even say unfortunately? There is no fortunately. So he got blown up, and he tourniqueted himself. And he knew better. And see, tourniquets hurt. He knew better, but because it hurt so much, he took the tourniquet off, just 1/2 a turn, took the windlass off 1/2 a turn, just to relieve some of the pressure. You know what happened? That poor man bled out and died. He'd had the tourniquet on for a couple of hours, just couldn't take it anymore, and he knew better. And he loosened it up 1/2 a turn, and they found him dead 10 minutes later because he bled out and died. So, that's information. I can recount those stories to you via video. I can demonstrate as many techniques as you want. I can tell you all of the features of these tourniquets and what you should do and how you should do it, but I can't check your work. And if I can't check your work, it's not instruction. It's just like shooting a pistol. Guys, the reason we go train in person is because if you can't hold the handgun properly, right, and I can't diagnose that, I can't stand next to you and watch you shoot and go, hold on, let's work on that grip. Okay, let's talk about sight picture. Let's talk about trigger press, right? If I can't do that in person, it's not instruction. And so that's why we don't have videos, instructional videos that have anything to do with medical, because I don't think that you can, especially when you're talking about literally saving somebody's life. I don't think you can call that instruction. It's information. Raw Food Writer, baby should be seen, not heard. Raw Food Writer, enjoy your time. Never on this channel again. Eat shit and die.
Did somebody really said baby should be seen and not heard?
That was the last thing they ever said at this channel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We are family friendly.
Hell yeah. And when we say family friendly, this is our family. So kiss my ass and die if you don't like it.
Like a big fruitful and milk.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
It's also literally the first command in the Bible. Be fruitful and
Badger tried to
multiply.
hide the same time you did, and he unhit him. He's like, oh crap. And he hit him.
Baby should be seen, not heard. Shut the fuck up. Get more babies,
Yeah,
right?
More babies just came up.
You know why it feels good? Because you're supposed to have more babies.
Yep.
Hey, look, we're literally baby force deployed.
We got a tiny executive here.
Yes, this is our executive training program. She's sleeping on the job though.
She worked hard today.
She can't
This
put in the
is-
same hours Grandma can.
No. Nobody.
Nobody
Nobody.
can.
Nobody should.
You good? You want to have? Oh, okay.
How about raw food riders should just not be heard? Campfire Chef, I agree. You know, and listen, let's talk about this. Why do we prep in the first place? It's not because I'm some vain asshole. I want to perpetuate my life. Like, I've lived a good life. I'm not, like, eager to shuffle off this mortal coil, but if I get hit by a school bus tomorrow, I'll die with a smile on my face. It's to perpetuate the lives of the people that I love, including my children, who I'm commanded to raise up in the way that they should go, so they do not depart from it when they're older, and I'm commanded to leave an inheritance to. Dude, that's why we do this. It's not because I love the gadgets. It's not because no, the reason we prepare is so that we leave this place better than we found it, so that our kids have a higher likelihood of existing in normalcy even as the world goes crazy, right? And so, like, it's all about your children, man. And guess what? Children begin as babies. And the reason, you know, that's why they're so cute. Because if they weren't so cute, you'd probably, like, never want anything to do with them. Because they piss and they shit and they puke and they stink and they cry and it's like
kisses.
But
Oh.
right, they give you kisses and they love you and they're so soft and they got those big eyes and it's like, yeah, they're the best.
Or they pull your beard and eat it.
Heck yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a quintessential part of the junior executive training program is grip strength.
Yep.
So he was joking. People are sensitive. Rooster, we're gonna find out just how sensitive people are. You don't need to be talking shit either. You know, there's some things you joke about, some things you don't. You don't joke about our kids around here. We have an entire ministry based around rescuing children. It would be a good idea to not talk shit about children around here. So. After 8 kids, I still miss having little ones around. Exactly, right? So, I looked like a rat 1 or 2. It was, I misspoke. I said rat 3, but it's not a rat 3, it's a rat 1. You are correct. Core principles to teach kiddos on preparedness, having them help and assist. Joseph, that's a great question. I think it's more so, at least for us with our kids, is it's them understanding that, like, the way we live is it's not a hobby, it's a lifestyle. And so you think about, like, cushion, right? A lot of preparedness is cushion. We stockpile stuff. Well, that could be equated to insurance, or it could be equated to savings in the bank. And then it's just like having them around while you're doing stuff. Because, like, our kids can food with us. And they don't understand everything there is to know about canning food, but they know, hey, we're going to can food. And that means we need jars and lids and rings. And we got to wash them. And when mom says, put this stuff in the jar, we put this stuff in the jar. And in order for it to go in the jar, it's got to get cut up. And so in order for it to get cut up, we got to have some kind of knife skills, right? And then we got to wash up and clean up afterwards. And that's like sanitation and, you know, basic stuff like, hey, it's time to feed the sheep. And our kids, I mean, literally from brand new to we have kids that are damn near adults, you know, legally speaking. They are right there with us when we harvest animals. Like, I think our kids are, like, don't even bat an eye. I don't think, I know. Our kids don't even bat an eye. When we're spinning a whole sheep over a fire, they're like, heck yeah, dinner's going to be awesome tonight. And this is not something that we do, like, occasionally. Praise Yah, we do this on the regular, right? Like, we harvest chickens, you know, we butcher cows, we go hunting. Like, this is just it's just a way of life for us. We grow vegetables. Like, talk about, like, life and how life works. How powerful is it for a kid to take a seed and learn this responsibility of this, to take a seed and put it in soil and to water it, and as it grows to continue to water it and to weed this little seed, the little pot that it's in, and to maybe trim it here and there, and then to transplant it, and then to continue to nurture it, and then to harvest the fruit and to eat some of the fruit and cook with some of the fruit and to save some of the fruit, and then the plant dies and you pull the plant out and you put that plant in the compost or in the chicken coop that the chickens then turn into compost, and you take that compost and you amend the soil that you then plant the next seed in the next year. Like, if that doesn't teach kids stuff, that doesn't teach humanity lessons, I don't know what does. Like, that should be required. I don't know that calculus necessarily needs to be required in school. Definitely Common Core and modern monetary theory and whatever this critical race theory, that should not be required at all. Planting a seed and making sure that thing doesn't die, that should be required learning in school. And so preparedness is just perpetuating normalcy for the people that we love. And if you use that working definition, you take all the fear out of it. Really what you're doing is you're teaching your kids to be resilient. And that's what we want. We want resilient human beings because life's friggin' hard and bad things happen. And if you're like, okay, whatever, my seed died, I'm gonna plant another one. Or I know that some seeds die, so I'm gonna plant 6 or 24 or 70, right? That'd be risotto. Kids are seeds. That's exactly right. Shalom, honey.
Hello, honey.
So, as far as teaching kids, what your kids see you do, they will do. And so I think you need to be a good example for your kids, and you need to include them in the stuff that you're doing to a level that they're just on the edge of their capability to do, so that they grow in the process of doing it. You don't want to give them so much that they get overwhelmed and then disheartened. You want to give them enough that it just begins to stretch their capability, and then their capability stretches. They grow to be able to shoulder that responsibility, and then you give them a little bit more. You give them a little bit more. You give them a little bit more, and next thing you know, like, your children are adults and they're resilient and capable because from the time they were little, you started trusting them with stuff and started equipping them to be able to handle all these different challenges. So.
And sometimes they're like, hey, remember when you tried to show me that canning thing? I wasn't quite paying attention, but I need to know now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great point.
Yeah.
Well,
I did that.
you,
Should have paid attention.
I said, when you do those things when they're little, they kind of are paying attention and they kind of remember it, but they're not sure why they needed to know it. And then all of a sudden they're adults and they call you and they're like, remember that thing you tried to teach me? Could you actually teach me now? Because I don't know what I'm doing.
yeah, but that's a great point because it becomes part of their ethos.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we put stuff in cans. I don't precisely remember how we put stuff in cans, but I know we put stuff in cans. I'm gonna call Ma and find out, hey, how do we put stuff in cans, right? And then now you also think about the generational interactivity there as well. It's like, that's why, like, my wife's grandma is so badass because she knows all the things. Like, grandma's first aid kit is a cotton rag and castor oil, and she can fix anything with that, like, for sure. I've seen her do it. And if you think about it, if that's all you had was a cotton rag and castor oil, yeah, and you know what you're doing, you can
It's
probably make it work.
anti-inflammatory, antifungal, antiviral.
I mean, you can even make an occlusive dressing with it. Like, oh, you got a chest, like, penetrating chest wound? Okay, douse the cotton rag in the castor oil, and now it's an occlusive dressing. It's like, it's basically a petrolatum dressing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but like, 100% thanks for mulling over what they need to know in emergency, how a kid can practice OODA loop. I farm and they see and help and do. Well, dude, if they're growing up on a farm, like, they're probably farther ahead as far as like real world life skills than a lot of other kids, and that's awesome. And OODA loop is something, man, teenagers don't have it. At least mine don't, and most teenagers don't. Like, they don't. observe is not most teenagers' giftings, especially teenage boys' giftings, unless it's girls. Their
True.
girl OODA loop is, well, it's not even an
Well.
OODA loop because they observe and they orient. They cannot decide and they do not act.
And if they act, it was wrong.
Until they do act, in which case then we get back to the babies are cool portion of the conversation we were having.
But there's a sense of understanding the world around you that children don't have. They cannot have that capacity yet. And as teenagers, you start to realize that other people are around you and have problems and have things going on. And it's not really, I feel like, until you're like late 20s, early 30s that you actually understand that there are people around you with problems and other things that the world is wrapped around you before then. So you learn things and you do things, but actually having an OODA loop, like really understanding how the world is working around you is,
Unless you're the oldest.
to me, it's like
Yep.
30. Yeah, unless you're the
Well,
oldest.
and the other portion of that conversation too is because I like looking at the inverse of things as well, right? And so OODA loop, right? That concept of being switched on and processing on the regular. What that really is an acknowledgement of the fact that the world's a dangerous place. And I need to be at least as dangerous as the world is if I'm going to live here, right? But if that's something that your children know, there's an element of innocence that is being lost because we're putting the burden of that understanding on our children. And there's a delicate balance you have to walk there. Again, it gets back to you want to just stretch the capability of your children. Make room for your wife, bro. Look at you. You got a chair and a half over there.
I got thick thighs.
Yeah, you do. You got a ghetto booty, as my wife said. Is there another chair?
Fit.
It's one of those.
And so,
There we go.
so you don't want your children to lose their innocence too fast. 'Cause it's a tragic thing when a child that's too young loses too much innocence too soon. And it's one of the things that make children so wonderful is that they remind us how good things can be, how trusting they are, how loving they are, how innocent they are, how appreciative of the little things they are. I mean, my daughter, my youngest daughter, made me a hand-cut heart-shaped card yesterday that she drew with a bunch of different crayons and just came up and brought it to me while I was laying in bed, you know, with this flu that I got going on. And she explained to me, as I'm laying in bed, what the heart means and how much I love you. And I picked this color for this reason and this color for that reason. And then we had a 5-minute conversation about this card that she made. It's like, that's a beautiful thing. You don't want that to wear off too quickly. Those are the things you want to cherish. So you want to be careful. Yes, you want them to be capable individuals, but part of our responsibility as parents is to manage that transition from young, innocent, 100% protected to older, more capable, providing a modicum of their own protection. So, yeah, just be careful not to rush it, is I guess what I'm saying. I guess that's what I'm saying. You're welcome, Joseph Moulton. You're welcome, brother.
She loves him so much.
I need to get some more ice.
Libby's eyeing you. She woke up and was like,
Oh,
there's TJ.
junior executive. Oh no, another baby. Oh no.
All the babies.
Oh gosh.
Hey,
What's up, dude?
hey, little lady.
Yeah.
There's your cup.
Teaching children. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. You looking at Miss Holly? Liberty, 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 liberty.
Yeah, the whole time you were just singing her.
Yep. What?
I was wondering where that was.
Yep,
That
it
was on the porch.
On the floor, man.
Oh yeah, the chunk was just playing with that.
Thank
And
you,
then he
sweetheart.
tossed it on the floor.
Hey, what's up, Chad Netherton?
It's
Come on,
a girl
brother.
That
toy.
is a
She has my haircut. Oh, get the beard.
Yep,
Oh,
that's what it's all about. Grab the beard.
it's already raining here in Southeast Texas. Shalom, brother Tommy. Love you, bro.
Yeah, we're supposed to be getting some of that.
Bad weather in Louisiana tonight. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got rain coming in.
Yep.
Joey Lemons, we talked about Caleb House a short while ago. I would just encourage y'all, if you're not on the Grindstone newsletter, to go to Grindstone Ministries and sign up for the newsletter.
What was the first
What-
information you said? It's with a K.
What is the grind angle on the limited edition knife? Man, 80 degrees? I gotta remember.
I don't know.
What's up, girl?
I can look it up.
What is that on your shoulder? This is a child. This is a tiny person, whom we are fans of around here at this channel, believe it or not.
They should be seen and heard.
Yes,
He tried to
they should just be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's just begin with that. They should
Just like
be.
scared.
It says 60 HRC.
That's the hardness.
I don't know if the 3/4 grind height at 80 grit, 800 grit.
It's a 3/4 inch grind height at 80 grit. The angle, I don't know, man. It's wicked sharp. So how's that? The kid needs to put some beard work in. I know. Well, first of all, it's a girl. Second of all, not mine. Third, like brand new. And so I think this beard might be older than she is.
She's almost 5 months.
Almost 5 months.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
beard.
So yeah, this beard is older than she is. So
Come on.
you guys got pouches on your plate carriers for all them babies. Nope, we don't take them into war with us. We go kill bad guys way over there, so we don't ever have to worry about the babies being in a war zone.
So true.
What do you think about welding? I'm about to get my certs in a few weeks. I think welding is an absolutely awesome skill to have. Breathing, melting steel together with fire made by electricity. I'd give you 2 thumbs up, but one of them is holding Liberty. So double thumbs up. I think welding's absolutely awesome, and it's a very lucrative skill as well, right? You agree, Libby? Yep. Okay, good talk. Yeah, I think welding's awesome, and it's like eminently useful. So like I learned to weld on the farm, and my welds are not they're not beautiful, but they're strong, right? Just like you, Bear Man. You ain't pretty, but you strong. Get it?
She's quiet.
Yep.
The chunk was making all the noise.
Yeah, he's older though.
Yes.
Like 5 months and over a year.
Sheesh,
No,
now I
he
feel
was
really
older.
old. My youngest just turned
That's true.
27.
Yep.
So yeah, I think welding's awesome. Does baby know how long for my next bear fact? It depends.
Yes, she does.
Mom
She does.
Where you going? She's at the office.
She's part of the junior executive training team. So it depends on when you ordered it. If you've already ordered it, not that long. If you haven't ordered it yet, you probably should go ahead and order that damn thing, because it'd be getting stupid out there. Your arm tastes delicious, Bear Man. I know. Right? And Essex is like, sup? We got more little people. He is so happy now that his mom's here. I mean, it's not like he was not bad at all before, but he's just like joyful.
Really?
A
His
little
mom made it
person.
through an entire dinner.
I
That's
know.
awesome.
Without
What did y'all have
crying.
for dinner?
Mexican.
Mexican?
Mexican?
Yeah.
That's just
With
racist.
no alcohol.
Yeah, they didn't serve alcohol.
No alcohol,
Oh,
yeah.
where was it?
The new place.
Oh, gotcha.
The yellow, orange, whatever.
Yeah.
The yellow Mexican.
It was pretty good.
Can you BYOB?
We wouldn't. Next time we're just
I
going
mean,
someplace else.
Yeah.
We're us. We can do whatever we want to do.
So
Right?
good.
We just decided we're going to the
Right.
port
I
next
would have if
time.
I knew ahead of time.
It's
Brittany's like, I didn't know pre-plan.
Libby. It's you, me, and 704 of our friends. So, hey Bear, I'm just curious, but have you dealt with any racist comments about your mag in Oklahoma? In what? Well, that's the thing. Like, I don't understand how we'd be racist. There's this interesting sentiment amongst Native Americans some of them think that white people are like colonizers, which I think is interesting, because I'm a quarter Native American and I'm not on the doles, and nobody gives me money but me, and I'm not like, I don't care about stuff that happened before I was born, because that's just, now I think it's an interesting heritage, but it doesn't define who I am. But there's been some interesting sentiment from that regard. But we have people of every color and background in our tribe. And, right, Liam? And Oklahomans, like, we have, it's almost like if you ever watch that show Ozark on Netflix, where, like, everybody's just a ridiculous redneck in that show, like, it's, get it.
I love that show, The Ozarks.
But it's not that, like, people just aren't that rednecky.
No.
Like, it's just...
I get harassed every time I'm in a store.
Well, go ahead. Tell them about your racist experience in Oklahoma.
Each and every time I'm at a store, there's always someone coming up to me saying, "Hey, how you doing? What kind of gun are you carrying? Oh, like, you seem really nice. We should be friends." Like, oh my gosh, the racism, it's horrible. Everyone wants to be so nice and welcoming and all of this stuff. Like, I need to go back to the East Coast where everyone stays far, far apart.
I also think they're like, that guy could kill me. I should be nice to him.
Oh,
That's most definitely.
I guess that's a part of it.
That guy could kill me. I should be nice to him and make friends with him, because if I need anything, he's got it.
Yeah.
And so we like him on our team.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the way with everybody in Oklahoma.
Oh,
We're friends with them.
so friendly.
More likely that person in Oklahoma could kill
Well,
you.
that's a very good point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Small women,
So-
big men, doesn't really matter.
So, like, constitutional carry is 100% the law of the land here. Peace out, libs. Everybody has a gun. Everybody. The 82-year-old grandma at Dollar General is packing heat. Like, everybody has a gun. And an armed society is a polite society. And so, Oklahoma, and I've caught flack for saying this in the past, but I mean it wholeheartedly. Oklahoma is everything Texas thinks it is. And I can say that because my family has a county named after them in Texas, and has for the last 200 years. And I could live anywhere in the world at this point, and I don't live in Texas. I live in Oklahoma. So, but in my Germany is exactly the opposite. Yeah, well, there you go. Shoo-ba-doo-ba-doo. What other questions we got? Be nice to the MMA fighter with the gun. Yeah, exactly. It's exactly right. That's a good policy.
And he also, like, radiates this, like, weird hospitality joy thing that people just, like, he makes friends everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
Oh,
They don't
yeah.
quite know how to
So
interpret.
somebody said
He's the opposite of resting bitch face. Like,
Yeah.
he has, like, total
it's
opposite.
beautiful.
Nobody talks to me in public.
Yeah, the rest
But everybody talks to him.
Nobody talks to me in public unless they're like, "Hey, do you watch YouTube?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Are you into preparedness?" I'm like, "Yup." They're like, "Have you ever heard of Bear?" Yep. Heard of them. They're like, "Are you Bear?" Yep, I'm Bear. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, it's Bear!" I had one guy at a gas pump one time, and he was like, "Honey, get out of the truck, it's the Bear Man from the internet." I mean, he's a great guy, right? But I was on one side of the gas pump, he was on the other, and he was like pumping his gas, and he was doing one of these, like, looking around the pump. And so I look around the pump at him, and after a hot minute, he was like, "Hey, you like that YouTube stuff?" I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm Bear." He's like, he's like, "Baby, get out of the truck, it's Bear from the internet." And like, that's cool. Like, it's interesting, like, how often that happens, because our channel's not that big in the scheme of, like, YouTube's. It's not that big. So, and somebody said Oklahoma has 3.2 beer. Oklahoma has 3.2 beer. It also has 5.0 beer. It also has 12% ABV beer. That law's been changed forever and a day,
At least
man.
a couple of years.
They do
Oh
not
my
sell
God.
Yingling though.
Yeah, but they sell it in Arkansas.
I know.
Yep. Yingling.
Mine's a flat bottom.
Doc Holliday, one is none. Well, Doc, that's why you got 2 guns, one for each of you.
Mine's a flat bottom.
Okay.
One side is
Favorite
the bottom.
alternative livestock: goat, sheep, quail, alpaca.
Guineas.
No, not guineas.
Tons and tons of
Not
guineas.
alpacas.
Love your neighbor. Get guineas.
Sheep, man. It's all about the sheep. Sheep taste better than goats. They're easier to keep than goats. Goats make more babies faster, though. Goats are more prolific breeders. But sheep for show. I love them. Shalom.
Yep, we're heading up.
Oh, you're out too? All
Yep.
right. Well, shalom, shalom, shalom. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Yes, indeed. Shalom, everyone. Y'all
It's done
y'all be nice in the chat.
Yeah.
Hear? Be nice in the chat.
Listen to the MMA fighter with the gun. Do what he says.
Listen to the gun with the MMA fighter.
Listen to the gun with an MMA fighter. Bye, Essex.
He's like,
Oh, mommy. He's so distinguished.
Oh, I know. You hear that?
why is the bear man laughing?
What am I missing?
She's like, we could be businessing right now. All these orders. Somebody said, what are you drinking? I'm drinking the last of this blind squirrel that one of y'all sent to me to try. It's blind squirrel peanut butter whiskey. It's pretty good. I like it on the rocks. It's sweet, but all peanut butter whiskey is. But it's pretty good. Pretty good. I'm just sipping on it.
Hey, ask them who sent us houseplants.
Yes, which one of y'all sent us houseplants?
For me and Nick. Me in the back.
It came from like Amazon.
Hey, Romans.
Yeah, they just came from Amazon.
Bear, I'm hearing talk of Disney buying all the land around McCurtain County to open a resort. A tree trimmer in Clayton says so. Okay. Somebody make a note of that. We'll check that out.
Why the hell would they go to McCurtain?
I don't know.
Like,
Cheap
Where's
land
McCurtain?
south of us.
There's nothing in McCurtain.
Because there's nothing in McCurtain.
nothing in McCurtain.
There's
Yeah.
not even roads in McCurtain, though.
Well, but
like,
that's
are they
what
gonna
Disney- that's
build
what
a
Disney
highway
likes.
Cheap
too?
land.
Yeah. They do all their own infrastructure. Like they have their own water plants and power plants.
That's fine. I bet Disney needs first aid kits. They're also trafficking kids, apparently. Did you see that?
No, but I'm sure they're.
Yeah.
They
How do you think they got into Small World?
You're fired.
Just because you think it doesn't mean you should say it.
I'm just saying, it's a bunch of kids.
Bear, what brand are you smoking tonight? This is a cheapie. This is a Cigars International knockoffs Romeo y Julieta knockoff. They're very good. they're like I think they're like $50 for 20 of them. So what's that, $2.50 a stick? Pretty good. Have you given thought to the petrodollar? Yes, I talked about that on the brief yesterday at great length. The petrodollar and the petro yuan. So, is Stewart OK a good municipality to move to? I have no idea where Stewart OK is. I wish my country had the same gun laws as the United States, considering we share a border with Russia. Yeah, man, that sucks. But if a lesson you can take from the United States is there's millions of people who have guns in the United States who shouldn't legally have them. So, you know, this is an interesting concept. A brother turned me on to a book called The Doctrine of the Lesser Magistrates. And that's a hell of a good read. People, I won't say y'all, because I like you guys, Bear Nation. I like you guys too much. But there's a lot of people in the Patriot movement that talk a lot about freedom, And I don't think they're intellectually mature enough to understand what freedom is. That's perhaps a different conversation for a different time. But the doctrine of the lesser magistrate talks about how our founding fathers understood that man's laws are subservient to God's law. And there's let's just open that can of worms, right? We're over an hour into the show. Those people that don't give a shit about God's law have probably left already, or they can go ahead and leave now. But it's a foundational doctrine that was understood by our founding fathers, the doctrine of the lesser magistrate, and the idea that higher law supersedes man's law, and that higher law is the Father's perfect law, God's law. And that if man's law falls outside of God's law, it is therefore tyranny. And tyranny is defined as a man-made law that transgresses God's law. And so the doctrine of the lesser magistrate, the greater magistrate being the president or the Congress or the governor, the lesser magistrate being the mayor or the county commissioner or the city council member or the sheriff. The lesser magistrate has the right and responsibility to stand up to tyranny, which are ungodly man-made laws, and to oppose those laws at their level. And it's a phenomenal book. The Doctrine of the Lesser Magistrates. It's only like 120 pages long. It's like $10 on Amazon.
Don't get it on Audible.
Don't get it on Audible.
The narrator is so bad. It's
really
hard to
Is it
listen
terrible?
to. It's horrible.
So I would recommend, I don't do Audible anyway, I would recommend you get the paperback. What's up, Lib? What's up, girl? She's like,
Nope.
you are happy.
That is the biggest smile.
Bear, what's the last sign for suburban preppers to head out? This live stream. Go. But the doctrine of the lesser magistrates, it's the concept that we should be resisting tyranny, and that tyranny is, it's a man-made law that runs counter to the Father's law. And it's a phenomenal book, absolutely phenomenal book. As to when a suburban prepper should be bugging out, you need your own threat indicators, dude. I have an entire video on that in the Prepper Classroom here on YouTube. Prepper Classroom threat indicators. Just go to the Prepper Classroom playlist and look for it. How to develop your own threat indicators. But there's some things that are good generic threat indicators. One's overwhelming force. If there's an infantry brigade 2 towns over working their way in your direction, you need to go, bro. I don't care how Wolverines you are, you need to go. Because, like, we all have kids, right? Can you fight a war? Maybe. You want to fight a war with the baby on your hip? Absolutely not. You need to go. What about natural disaster? Flooding, tornadoes, hurricanes, fire, earthquake, mudslide. You can't stay here. Time to go. Inability to do commerce, right? If you can't do business here, sorry, sir, you didn't do that 2 things plus the other thing. You're not allowed to buy groceries at this store. Can't stay here. Untenable. Time to go. Civil unrest is huge. That gets back to the overwhelming force thing. If your neighbors begin behaving badly, that should be a huge indicator for you. A huge indicator for you. And so you need to develop your own threat indicators and determine what a critical mass of threat indicators looks like for you. If you have 7 of them, do we need to check 4 of these boxes before we go? Or do we need to check all 7 before we go? Or is one of them, and how are they weighted? Because overwhelming force is huge for me. If that's one of 12 indicators we have, that's enough. That one indicator, it's time to go. It's time to go. Because if the Panamanian paratroopers are landing in this hayfield over here, I ain't staying. I'm not staying. Women and children and sheep, go. Bug out. Get out of here. We're going to do a break contact drill and keep you covered while y'all get out of here. Right? We're just not staying here. It's not worth it. And a lot of people, I think a lot of people that don't know what they're talking about and or are mentally unstable say, well, I'm never leaving. This is my hill to die upon. I don't know if you know the value of your own life, and I don't know if you understand how deeply rooted survival instinct is in people. You're gonna go. You're not gonna stay there and die. You're just not. Or the vast majority of people are not. It's a bad policy. You're gonna stay there and die. Why even bother? If you're gonna stay there and die, you're just stacking loot for the next guy. What's the point? So, right, Lib, right, thumbs up. You want this rattle thing back? There you go. Oofda.
Do you read prepper novels?
Not really. I've read several prepper novels. I've read the entire Going Home series by Angry American. I've read a good bit of stuff by Franklin Horton, Sup Hort. I've read a good bit of stuff by Lisa Akers. 1 Second After. I've read that stuff, and it's. I've read it, most of that stuff years ago. It's interesting to me. There's some good ideas in there. I think the biggest issue that I have with it is a lot of people. Now, while some authors do their due diligence and put out good information, a lot of them do not. And what happens is people who read those novels get ideas about things that they're going to do when the balloon goes up that are bad ideas. And they don't know that they're bad ideas because they have never done it themselves. Or what might have been a good idea for the character in the Going Home series in southern Georgia, northern Florida, is not a good idea for you in Minnesota, right? PJ has a book, doesn't he? Yes, he does have a book. It's called Survivalist Family, Prepared Americans for a Strong America. Available at fine retailers everywhere, including Refuge Medical and BearIndependent.com. But it's not a fiction book. It's not a novel. It's a user manual for how you can prepare your family. It's an excellent book. I own it. I've got notes in mine. But as far as using novels, and again, that's kind of the difference between information and instruction, right? Like we were talking about earlier with like medical videos. I think a lot of people, in fact, I know I've talked to a lot of people at events and stuff. There's a lot of people that have taken the information in those novels and equated them to instruction for the real world. And from that, you meet a lot of people that have got their 60 to 90 pound bug out bag that can't walk 500 yards without the bug out bag on. And now they're gonna bug out 200 miles with a 60 pound rucksack. That doesn't work. That doesn't happen. And that's you. Now, what about you and your wife and your 3 kids and grandma? And we're all going to bug out on foot 200 miles? Like, no, that's why that has been a contributing factor to the way this channel has been set up. Because we pressure test every idea we have before we bring it to you. And if we talk to you about it, it's because we've already done it. We're already doing it. I don't talk to you guys about stuff that I don't do. I don't talk to you about stuff that I don't know. Like, so if I tell you something's a good idea, or if I say, hey, this thing is working, but I really try not to hypothesize or theorize about, well, you know what could be a good idea is that if you're up there north of the Arctic Circle, you should get some snowshoes, and if you can't find snowshoes, then you should fashion a spear and stab a narwhal in the face, and then use your Silky Gomboy 210 to cut its horn off and build a fire and melt that horn into a U shape, and after it's melted into a U shape, you should skin the narwhal and then make strips of leather with it and make your snowshoes out of that. Like, I have no friggin' idea. Okay? I don't know. So, narwhal? Narwhal, man. Did you know that narwhals used to get
You have to catch
No,
the
I did
narwhal?
not.
They used
Anything
to-
Don't you
you
have to
say
catch
that
it
involves
first?
narwhal, I do not know.
Do you know what a narwhal is?
Yes.
Okay.
But that's where it ends.
They used to get mistaken for mermaids. The
Okay.
mermaid legend began with narwhals and then migrated to manatees. So
Did you hear they
for
caught that?
mer ladies be thick is my point. Because
Right.
because these sailors out on the
Narwhal.
open ocean saw a manatee and they're like, hell yeah, I'd hit that.
They must have been at sea a lot.
That's what I'm saying.
And I
That's
think
what
there
I'm
was
saying.
might have had like rickets and scurvy
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
a lot of weird alcohol that they made.
Yeah, there was
in the
definitely
sea.
some lack of judgment in all of this. So
Yeah, but to skin a narwhal, first you have to catch it.
they're like an underwater unicorn. Yes,
They
whoever
are.
said that, that is correct.
That's pretty much what they are.
It's actually their tooth.
Yes, it is. It's their left tooth.
Yeah.
Just the left
That
one.
grows
The
through
left
their
one?
head.
It's
Yeah.
just the left one. The right one is like an average tooth length. The left one is 10 feet long.
Yeah.
I don't
It
know.
grows through their head.
Take it up with Ya.
It's weird.
That,
Yeah,
that-
sometimes I think I really, really believe Ya has the best sense of humor ever.
narwhals came from the same after hours party as the platypus did. When Ya was like, bring me all the spare parts. I have great ideas. And they're like, Ya, have you been drinking again? He's like, just a little bit. I need a duck bill
My
and a
son made some
beaver.
good
They're like,
wine
what are
tonight.
you doing?
My
Make
son
that-
made some good wine tonight.
Yep.
Let's make
Make
some
that
stuff.
tooth do that.
Both of them? No,
No.
just one of them. Which one? The left one.
He's a lefty, so narwhals are lefties.
Narwhals are lefties. Yep, they're very creative. Not very organized.
I mean, to be a mermaid, you gotta be pretty creative.
Whoa, Dudley.
Is that what that sounds?
That's a frog, buddy.
That's a
Okay.
frog.
That's a frog. Don't tell Renee about it, though.
That's a narwhal.
There had to
Rather
be
it
some
was a
pretty
narwhal.
desperate folks going for a fish. I know a fella married a sheep, but I don't know if I believed it. Well, man, marrying a sheep, there's a Torah for that. That's called an abomination, and that's what gets you walked to the rock pile. So, hey, what's up, Cat? Ya is the most creative creator. I agree with that, Rain Cat. What's up, Rain Cat?
Yes.
Ya said, I have ideas, hold my beer.
Just amazing.
Yeah.
And then Adam had to name them all.
Adam was like, what is this thing?
Is that a tooth?
Yeah. Narwhal.
That's a
Narwhal. Platypus. Yeah, I was like, that doesn't make sense. And he's like, neither does this thing. Platypus. That's what we're calling it. By the way, I want it to have eggs. Yeah. Could you imagine?
Yeah, how did you decide, like, which ones, like...
I want a mammal duck beaver that lays eggs.
Platypuses can poison you?
What?
I don't know. Somebody just, Phil Walter, just said, don't knock the platypus. Did you know they can poison you?
Like with a bite?
Do they like what? They slip some ketamine into your drink? Like,
I don't know.
they're very disarming, you know, because if you see a platypus, you're probably gonna be like, oh my gosh, it's so cute. And then the next thing you know, you got a syringe sticking out the side of your
How
neck.
did they poison you? Do they like lick you? Or like, is it like a frog?
We need
You
to
touch
know.
I don't
them,
know.
you just
We
start
need
tripping?
more
Are
details.
platypuses hallucinogenic? If we lick them,
If there's a barb near their foot.
they have a venomous spike, huh?
Ah,
Bear, you gotta come to the
Venomous
world, man.
Yeah, that's
Spike.
No,
Disney
dude.
Outland and Punch-
No, love of the world is enmity to Yah, man. No, I don't have to do anything with the world.
Platypus has venom stingers in their paws.
Look at this, man. You learn something new every day. Thank you, Bear Nation. I'm smarter today because of you. I had no idea, and then Yah was like, make it a ninja. I want it to have poison darts. That's incredible. That's incredible. Oh, now I want a platypus.
Did you hear they caught that giant wolverine? Like in one of the state parks or something that was killing a bunch of stuff?
A giant wolverine?
Yeah. There was a
Here?
whole hunt for it. No, like
Oh.
in Utah or
Oh, in Utah?
Colorado or
Okay.
one of those
They called
states
it
out
Spider-Man and
there.
Iron
No, it was
Man.
like huge. They had like
Medic
took,
Man.
like
Medic
videos
Man.
of it 'cause it was like
Call him
killing.
Medic Man.
It was killing a bunch of stuff and it was really big. Really big wolverine.
I had no idea there was a giant wolverine
that's
killing a
what we
bunch of
have
stuff.
living in the woods. It sounds all like-
Wolverine, yeah, that would.
Are you trying?
I don't know, but it's going to be an early night tonight because I'm going to be up earlier than it tomorrow. I got a thing to kill before dawn tomorrow. Might become a Patreon video. We'll see. Yacht is another word for moon. Come on, man. Oh, Brandon Anderson, let's not start talking shit to one another now, man. Are you a constitutional patriot? If you are, that means that I have a God-given, constitutionally protected right to believe and think however I see fit. And Yah is short for Yahweh or Elohim, as found in the book of Psalms written by King David of the tribe of Judah. And that's where you get the abbreviation Yah from. And so if that's an issue for you, verily I say unto thee, kiss my ass.
Take a deep breath.
So, there I did. Except I said kiss my ass before I took the deep breath. So, you gotta love the porch in the evening. I do, man. It's the best.
When it's not.
It's
freezing.
tremendous. Believe it.
Somebody said they got their wound care bucket.
Awesome. Yeah, we do at least have those right now, and like everything else is in the pipeline. So, I want a honey badger. What's up, Annabelle? Don't forget to use. Oh, that's faux. Do you like the screen on the porch? So, not one more inch. The cool thing about the screen on the porch is that there's a screen on the porch. The not cool thing about the screen on the porch is that only about 40% of the porch is screened.
Because somebody won't literally give me a hand.
It's in process, and don't you start talking trash.
I will.
It's on the to-do list for tomorrow, ma'am.
I like how you started in the corner. You just started like at one end.
I did. I started. Well,
She's a lefty.
originally, no, what
artist.
happened?
I didn't start at all. My wife decided that she was going to screen the porch. And she was like, do you want to help me? And see, my wife and I are on 2 different time schedules. So she starts projects at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I end projects at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Because I've been up since 5 and she goes to bed at 3-ish. Somewhere in there. Right? And so when she's like, do you want to help me with this project? And I told her very honestly and very calmly, I think screening the porch is a great idea. And yes, I want to help you with it, but not right now. I don't start projects at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And so my wife and my son have been working on screening the porch. But now she needs my help to complete the screened porch. And we will be working on that tomorrow at not 3 o'clock in the afternoon, because otherwise it's gonna not get done. Because I'm a like get stuff done early type of guy. Like early. Like usually by the time the sun is coming up, or by the time most people are on their way to work, like I'm up, I've exercised.
Hiding in the woods somewhere.
I'm hiding in the woods by Renee's cabin, freaking her out somewhere.
Nope, I was not freaked out. I just thought it was a weird dark
You're
bush.
she's
That
like,
I was
well,
not
that's a
worried about
strange
at all.
bush. Yeah.
Dark beard.
I'm up. I've exercised. I've read my Bible. I've drank my coffee. I've done whatever my daily reading is for the day. I've probably shot a Patreon video. I'm reading the brief and working on what I'm going to be talking to you guys about. Like this is all usually by like 7 a.m. All this has already happened. I've drank water. And so by the time like 3 o'clock in the afternoon rolls around, I'm usually like, I'm on a downward spiral, man. I want to be home and I want to be taking my boots off and I want to be chill. And then I'm not long for after sundown. Currently, I'm on a very solar-centric life cycle right now.
Montana has a good point.
Montana does?
Screen impedes the ability to pee offset porch.
Oh,
Yep. I think half the reason my wife screened the porch is so I can't piss off of it anymore.
you can't throw stuff, you can't spit. The whole thing.
That the pee helps?
No. That's the yank.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't recognize the sound?
Who goes there?
Cody.
Okay.
Jody.
Jody.
Oh.
I was like, it's definitely not mine.
Well, it was a diesel.
I know.
So I knew it wasn't Phelps. So. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Oh yes, it's St. Patrick's Day. We were talking about that earlier. I didn't even know it was St. Patrick's Day until I was scrolling through Instagram earlier, and one of them
Grandma told me.
suggested post was some hooker covered in green glitter, and I was like, oh, I guess it's St. Patrick's Day. Cool. So
We knew because the mail lady was wearing her Luck of the Irish shirt.
oh, was she? That's a good use of our taxpayer dollars.
Hey, but it was the nice mail lady.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's good.
What?
Wearing my Warrior shirt close enough. What's up, Joe?
Shalom.
Shalom, man. What you got going on?
There's nothing left for you to eat.
If Bear can pee or spit off the porch, he will drown.
I think he meant if you can't.
30 Dan the Trash Man. Awesome. Thank you, man. I appreciate
Oh,
it.
somebody got a bear knife.
Loved your Arming the Saints, Bear. Thank you, Joseph Moulton. I'm thinking about posting that the Man of Elohim to YouTube.
Was she not wearing green? What'd you do?
Stop punching that baby. How dare you?
We were just talking about people not wearing green.
Are you wearing a
what did I
lime
walk
green shirt?
into?
No, it's bright orange.
It's bright orange.
I'm so colorblind. Is that, this is apparently orange.
Obviously,
Lime green.
I don't know.
Lime green. You know, your shirt's written in orange too.
Whatever. Your daughter punches babies.
Apparently she didn't like enjoy me walking away.
Oh.
She wanted TJ. She's
She
like,
didn't want to walk away?
like, where's your man?
You want to come back? Oh, that was a gigantic smile. Come on. All right. Come on, you. All right. Let's do executive stuff. What are we doing? What? What is it? You got bubbles? You got bubbles? Bubbles. Who is that? Is that Mr. Phelps?
That's P. Helps.
That's Mr. Phelps.
we were
What? Get it out. Talk it out, man.
He
Talk
can
it
still
out.
pee off the porch. There's gonna be there's stairs.
I'm
that
gonna
you
put a
can pee
doggy
on.
door like 3
No,
foot
you
up
are
on the
not.
screen.
No.
Yes, I
No,
am. Yes, I am. I'm
no.
gonna put a doggy door in. Open it up so I can still pee off the porch. I know.
Like the reverse pajamas?
Yes, like the reverse pajamas. That's
I mean,
right.
it's not waterproof.
I know. I've had that thought.
Hey, when it rains,
I just don't want to get stabbed in the throat by my wife.
when it rains, you can pee off the porch as much as you want.
That's nobody will know.
What's up? You're not happy, huh?
Whoa! Give me that, Madre.
Maybe not.
My eye-hand coordination is suffering right now.
Where's your other half?
Not here.
He stayed home.
Mm-hmm.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
She's really out.
The most well-protected baby in Oklahoma. That's right. Everybody on this porch is armed. And I'm within arm's reach of a rifle, so... How long before Bear puts a hole in the screen somewhere do we start taking bets? Yes, please. Please,
I think it's
start
gonna be a cigar.
start an
It's gonna be a
over-under, a cigar hole.
That you hold back in your hand like
It's
this
not quite
on the
big
chair,
enough.
and then you catch it.
Yes! Preach it, girl! Yes!
Remember who her dad is.
Titus 2. Tour to coffee for the moms on the Bear. Homestead, children are a heritage, a gift from God. Love you all.
Oh, thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Texas T. St. Patrick's Day pagan. I have no idea. I think what I know about St. Patrick's Day is that you drink beer and eat eggs early in the morning. Kegs and eggs. What's up, brother? I know. So, Liv, tell me, how many pounds of food per person per year should we have stacked up? What do you think? Yes. All of it. You are correct. Numbers are for losers. Just keep stacking. All right. Thanks, Bear Man. Green beer, wear camo. Don't forget corned beef and cabbage. That's true. There is that.
Yeah. That's the best part.
What? I'm famous, Mom. It's already started. TikTok me.
Oh, that's it.
TikTok me. Now.
You start a new YouTube channel called
What?
Sam.
Sam the murder dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna
It's a
get
battle dog.
Sam the battle dog. Yeah, that's probably more friendly than
Yeah.
murder dog.
Murder dog.
We put a
I'm-
GoPro behind
It's
the
not battle implies that the other side has a chance
Yeah.
though.
Somehow they
You know.
I almost just
back.
did.
They do a chance to run away.
What's that?
I almost just learned it.
Oh, she'll cut you.
I know,
Yeah.
man. I'm
Be,
expecting.
be careful.
For what?
Nothing happened. Link to the new knives. They're gone. They posted on Patreon yesterday, and they were gone in an hour.
But I almost put my
But they look like that,
got that.
and they're awesome. Handmade by Fleming Fabrications, but Fleming Fabrications, this right here, Travis Fleming. You should check him out on Instagram, Fleming Fabrications. He does incredible knife work, and these were an incredibly small batch. He did 10 of them, and they were gone within an hour. Posted on Patreon. So, and that's another perk of Patreon is like when stuff like that comes up, they're gonna post on Patreon.
Jody just pointed out that the flies will come up from underneath the porch.
We had that conversation.
And then they'll be trapped in here.
Guys, don't ruin the shalom. Don't do it.
Your shalom?
Don't even. I know your response to that. What's the best polymer striker fired 9mm handgun? Oh well, clearly the 1911.
Exactly.
Right? Clearly the 1911. Not just pissing everybody off. You don't know that the 1911. Shut up.
The
Yes, I know.
9mm 1911.
A 9mm 1911 is an abomination.
It is.
I
It
got
is
a
an
question for you.
What?
Are you looking to add any more Made in America products on the Bear Independent store?
Potentially. Email admin at Bear Independent, admin at bearindependent.com, and we can have a conversation about it. As far as your potential American made. Rat 5 or Rat 7? So the Rat 5 is a big knife. The Rat 7 is an even bigger knife. But both the SE5 and the Rat 5 are ridiculously thick. We were just talking about this at the shop earlier today.
Yeah.
They're ridiculously thick. The SE6 though, hold on. Watch out, Samo.
Everybody
Little
thinks that
I know you're like
has done that.
Is this a size satchel?
It is. It's a bear satchel.
If it was at the store, people
And I-
would be like, can I have that?
I use it for carrying around satchel charges. So this is the SE6, and it's a gorgeous knife, and it's actually pretty svelte. The lighting's not great here, and I'm not going to correct that because we're on my porch, not a studio, and I like it that way. But this SE6 weighs less than the SE5 does because this is like a 3/16 inch blade, maybe a little bit less than that. The SE5 is a full 1/4 inch thick, and honestly, I think that's overkill. You could build a damn log cabin with it. You could take a sledgehammer and drive it through the side of a tree, and it would be fine. But I haven't found at any point with the SE6, which has this blade thickness, like 3/16, I've never thought, damn, I wish that blade was thicker and more stout. So as far as like big knives go, I prefer the SE6 to the SE5 a lot. With the caveat that I love the OKC Rat 5. That is my butchering knife. And I also use it a lot for bushcrafting, which means stuff that I do in the woods when I make fire. And it's phenomenal for butchering because of the blade shape. So, but both the Rat 5 and the SE5 are big, thick, heavy knives, and that's something you should be aware of. I don't like recommend that you just like carry one around. They weigh a friggin' ton for what they are. story, Bear. If you had $2,500, would you buy solar panels or a wind turbine or an LP gen set? Well, you can't get a wind turbine worth buying for $2,500, so cross that off. If you got solar panels, you also need a couple of batteries at a minimum and a charge controller, and maybe an inverter if you're trying to run AC power off of your DC generation. And so you could probably get a decent small solar setup for $2,500. An LP gen set is, the problem you're going to have with that is eventually your LP input is going to run out on a long enough timeline versus the sun. When the sun is darkened by 1/3, it's legitimately the end of the world. And at that point, it probably doesn't matter whether or not you're getting power coming in, because it's like literally Messiah is going to come back and kill everybody. Read Revelation 19. Jesus would never do that. You didn't read the end of the book. He totally does. He whips everybody's ass. So, I think for $2,500, you got to get a small solar setup. But the thing to understand about a small solar setup or even a big solar setup is like, you're not going to run your 2 refrigerators and your 3 deep freezes and your whole home heating, ventilation, air conditioning system and the big screen TV and all of that off of your small solar setup. You're going to get some lighting, maybe some refrigeration, maybe some small appliances, charge some batteries, but you're not, HVAC and refrigeration are your number 1 and your number 2 consumers of electrons in your house. So you need to be aware of that. You need to plan accordingly. So how is the Jackery solar panel and generator working out? It works great, man. Like, I left that thing outside on purpose. Left it outside in the driveway for a month. Just left it there. I let it get friggin' poured on. The dogs ran over it. The kids jumped on it. It got hit a couple of times. I backed my truck into the thing a couple of times. Like, it's fine. We took it to Kentucky with us on deployment. Like, it just works, which is great. That's what you want. You want stuff that just works. And I'm very much so that way. Like, I don't like fiddling with stuff. I just want it to work. So, just got an estimate for my well, $35K. F my life. Hi, Angela Purvis. It's good to see you again. That
Hi,
sucks. Hami says, hi, Angela. Yeah, that's insane. Also, I think you're still in Texas, though. So, makes sense. Everything is expensive in Texas. Everything is expensive in Texas. $35K would get you a piece of land with a well already on it in Oklahoma. So,
And then some.
and then some. Yeah. Might find an old house on it, which means you got a well and a power drop and a water line already in. You could knock the damn house over and set it on fire and still have all your utilities in.
Right.
Yeah, maybe a foundation. Probably have some semblance of a
Barnwood.
driveway already in. At least passable. Although
all these things matter.
all these things matter. Although we've on several occasions engaged in this lovely thing we like to call shofaristry, which is where it's literally like you show up to the land and it's like, all right, we need the camper trailer to go in there, and it's just forest. And they're like, where in there? They're like, that's the thing. We have to make some in there, and then we go make some in there, and it's fun. It's fun being us. Doing chainsaw stuff.
Concrete Hades.
Concrete Hades. Sup, man? OMG 604. What's up, man? The RV is getting old. We're doing the things, though. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. I hope y'all are doing well. It's one of those, like, rare people that, like, both watch the channel and know me in real life. You know, like, it's, yeah. And they know me, like, I've known the Purposes a long time. Long time. 8 years, probably? How do you get rid of the stumps? Can't. They just show up on my porch every damn day.
At least they stopped multiplying.
We've ceased the multiplication.
But you made up for everybody else's lack of
We still,
multiplication.
our kids the other day were like, is there anybody who has as many kids as we do? And I was like,
No.
no. And I was
No.
like, that's even only counting how many we have that still live at home. We're not
Yes.
even counting the ones that
Yep,
are married.
the
Yeah.
one-
Like,
Yeah,
you still have more
the
bits.
most.
So how do you get rid of stumps on property?
Stump out.
Still.
So it depends on the diameter of the stump, but the easiest way to do it, and people say, well, that's expensive. Yeah, but so is your time. And the easiest way to do it is to cut your trees high so that there's, I like 3 to 4 stumps sticking, 3 to 4 foot of stumps sticking up from the ground. Cut them high. Yes, you get less usable log out of it, but now there's something that a track hoe can grab a hold of and wiggle. And rent a track hoe and grab a hold of it and wiggle. A dozer, a large dozer can do it as well, but you push them out of the ground. Tractors, by the way, are not terribly good at yanking stumps out of the ground.
All bad.
It can be done if you have a big enough tractor, but it's usually what happens is you end up, the tractor pulls forward and then the chain gets taut and then the back wheels keep going and the front wheels come up off the ground and then the tractor ends up standing straight up in the air. It's bad news. So don't do that. And you can flush cut them, but if you flush cut them, then you still got stumps there. That sucks. People will be like, you can drill holes in them and pour milk in the holes. And then the natural...
Dudley said drill a hole in kerosene.
Yeah, you can do that too.
Stump grinding's always good.
A way that you can do it as well, and it takes time. And this is, again, time versus money, right? It takes time. You get a 55-gallon drum and use pulleys. You can use pulleys. It takes time. I don't know if you've ever rigged anything with pulleys. Everything takes time. You got 2 options here, time or money. But another way you can do it, takes time, is you can get a 55-gallon drum and cut the ends off of both ends. So you just have a metal cylinder. And you set the metal cylinder over the top of the stump. And then you build a fire in the drum. And you burn the stump out that way. And then when that one's completely burned up, you take the drum and you move it to the next one. And you burn a fire in that. And you can burn all your stumps out that way. But it takes a long friggin' time.
Unless you start with tannerite.
Unless you start with tannerite. I feel like you have something to add to this convo.
Similar concept on the burning out the stump is you take a chainsaw and plunge it in an X in the center and let the coals fall in while you do that.
Mm-hmm. Thank
as
you.
long as you don't have like a short root type of tree.
Mm.
You have to have a taproot type tree to do that, otherwise you're going to jack up your chain.
Yeah. And also, well, and that's the other thing. It depends on what kind of tree we're talking about, because like softwoods, like a pine tree, it's going to have a wide root base, but very shallow. They're easy to push out. I mean, you get a big enough truck with a long enough rope, you can just pull the whole tree over. And that's one of the plus sides of do with like a dozer, if you're clearing land, is you push the whole tree over, and then you have the leverage of the top of the tree that's ripping the stump up and over out of the ground as it's falling. Then once it's on the ground, you take your saw, you buck the log off of the stump, you move the log away, and the stump's already 90% up out of the ground. And so that's a major benefit to using a dozer to clear land as compared to cutting all the trees down and then having all these stumps. The dozers, yeah, rent a D6 high track or a John Deere 650 for a day and just push trees out of the way. About the best way to do it. And, well, that costs $800. Yep. You ever hire a tree crew? Shit. $800 don't buy the tree crew lunch, you know? I mean, that's, yeah. Yep. That's about the best way to do it. But if you've got existing stumps, heavy equipment is your friend. And if it's not heavy equipment, then, I mean, I've had smaller stumps that you could take a Pulaski axe, which looks like a pickaxe. It's got an axe head on one end and a spike on the other. Or you can take a pickaxe and dig around to what trees have 2 different types of roots. They have the tap root that goes straight down, and they have the buttress roots that come out to the side. And you can expose the buttress roots, dig down around there with the pickaxe, expose the buttress roots, and then take your axe, cut the buttress roots, and then you have nothing left but the taproot. Then you can wiggle that back and forth, the taproot will break, and the stump will come up and out. But that's a lot of damn work. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of time. And if you got 1 or 2 stumps and lots of free time, go for it. if you got acres of land to clear, John Deere 650 dozer, Cat D6 high track, D8, put it in first gear, push that throttle, and just handled. D4. Nah, Zach, I don't like a D4. I think a D4 is actually a pretty useless dozer. A D4 is good for making stuff pretty that was already once pretty. It's good for addressing roads, for fixing grades, for stuff like that, but it's not for moving material. It's not big enough to push anything that's worth pushing. Says me. That's been my experience. And I don't like the D5. I think the D5 it's too big to do detail work with, and it's too small to push heavy shit. I don't like it. D6 is where it's at. I don't mind a D4 if we got to do like road maintenance, or we got to fix a grade, or dress a pad, something like low impact. A D4 is good for that. But otherwise, D6, man. A D8 will take out anything, including your bank account. But yes, they will. I love D8s. I mean, listen, like, we've had conversations, as one would, all right, you hit the Powerball. What's the first thing you do? I buy a Caterpillar dealership. For real. That's the first.
I really was like, what?
We've had this conversation at least twice, and
Yeah.
I love it every time.
That's the first thing I would do.
Barristan's a thing.
Yeah,
So
Barristan is a thing. That's right. But I would buy a Caterpillar dealership because I'm gonna buy enough cat equipment anyway that I might as well own the damn dealership, right? And I can get it at cost. Shove it over you, huh?
yeah, 'cause it's getting close
I'll
to
just
9
get
o'clock.
going to sleep.
Oh yeah, we should probably adult, huh? Like do parenting. Should we do parenting?
Go get us.
K-Bar or Rat 5 for EDC? Where do you live? Panama?
K-Bar is an EDC.
Or a
I
Rat
don't know.
5?
They've been watching our videos, that's all.
I carried something about that big for years. So
Yeah. So I have a Rat 5 that I wear around here. That I guess you'd call it my EDC. I guess it, yeah. I was a facetious a-hole. I apologize.
You were like, actually,
Actually, as it turns out, I know a guy that EDC's a Rat 5. It's me. Yeah. Sorry. So,
just eat your own
my bad.
words?
You know a guy with 2 thumbs?
Yeah, this guy. Look, the K-Bar is the K-Bar. Hard to go wrong with the K-Bar, right? But there's something about batoning with the K-Bar that just doesn't feel right. If you need to stick a knife through somebody's kidney, a K-Bar is what's up. If you need to make firewood in the woods and like dress a deer, the Rat 5 is what's up.
Yeah.
That's like how I divide those two things.
agreed.
Like if there's a possibility that somebody needs to die with this knife, then the K-Bar goes to the top of the list. There's the possibility that like I just need to do general knife tasks, then I'd say it's the Rat 5.
We're just like, you're done.
What's up? Concrete Hades, we
Scissor
carry
too.
2 K-Bars. Scissors? You carry scissors? I just subscribed to your Patreon. Thank you, I appreciate that. What's a great price for a cargo trailer dual axle? Donnie, I have no idea, bro.
What size?
Okay.
What size?
It's jumped out of your hand there.
Probably I tapped it. New or used?
What's up, Peep the Finesse? So we used to get this question all the time when we had the wood shop in North Texas. Hey, how much for cabinets? And the owner of the company, I loved his response, was, how much does a car cost? What car? 1982 Toyota Tercel or a new Lambo? They're both cars.
Yeah.
Yeah. How much are cabinets? Oh, what kind of cabinets you want? You want paint grade MDF with poplar face frames, or do you want black walnut?
Yeah.
Or, you know, spalted pecan, or, you know, pecky cypress, or, yeah.
Stained grade oak.
Yeah. Yeah. There's lots of price points. So, Ashton Banks apparently shit the bed pretty hard.
Everybody's getting them.
All I saw was a wave. Holy shit. Like 12 of them. Hami, Hami, Hami.
It's the same
Tommy,
person. They just keep popping over.
Tamar, Peacekeeper,
Ashton's name
Badger,
formerly was
Homie,
Susan.
Homie.
It was formerly
Real talk or whatever.
Real Talk, yeah.
formerly Real Talk.
They've been like it's a bot or somebody who's
Oh,
coming
that's
in
cool.
like 3 times. And
Well-
Hommy's like,
They think that you paid for all your viewers. That your viewers are bots. I know. It's like
You
okay.
caught me. The bots
you don't
ask
make
the
any
best
money
questions.
off this.
Yeah.
You pay people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is actually kind of a slow night. Like if you had 3,500
We're
viewers
holding
like
all
you have
650
before, like
people hostage.
Yes.
They can't leave.
yeah,
Why won't you love me, YouTube?
we have them chained up in the tree line. That's all the money we got.
Yes, we used all the money from Refuge Medical to buy YouTube subscribers. You caught us. I had a sign biz. People would ask how much for a sign. How long is a piece of string? There you go. Best cookbook for making bread from wheat. Dude, Google.
Yeah.
Like, Google.
Yeah.
YouTube. Anything.
One-legged prepper says, I call BS. I'm a real person. What is your
Everybody
thoughts
else
on Fiskar's yard tools? I just shot a Patreon video on
Patreon.
Fiskar's yard tools recently.
Sherman Hill said, I want my money for watching.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa. We are not
Hey,
the 5 civilized tribes here. You don't get
she
paid
slept
for
in a very
participation.
comfortable blow-up bed.
Miss Hermit Hill.
Kentucky.
Yes, she did. Yes, she
It
did.
might have been like 22 degrees in the room, but
Yeah, why didn't you guys speak up sooner?
because
You're
we
like,
thought everybody was cold
you're
at
like,
night.
it's a little drafty in here. You go, there's like a friggin' meat locker, and there could be like carcasses of cows hanging from the
We all
ceiling.
thought everybody was that cold in their rooms, and then we figured out that like the last day I moved the bed, and there was ice that had formed next to
Yeah.
our beds all the way down. Like it was like sliding
the
glass
door
doors, and they
open?
must have been like drafty,
Yeah.
like, super drafty. And I was like, there isn't ice on everybody else's beds. I mean, we were in a firehouse.
Oh man.
No,
Gosh,
there
it
was
was
not
so
ice
cold.
on everybody
It
else's
was
bed.
so cold.
Yeah, there was no
But we did have massage recliners, so we were like, eh.
there was no weather stripping underneath the double doors
doors?
there, and where the sill was at, it was just all air
open.
gap. And so they're like, yeah, it's a
And
little chilly.
we had blow-ups that were leaned up against them, and so it was so cold at night. Like,
All I could hear was snoring, so I didn't care about ice.
yeah, it was fun.
Dude, the one night that alarm went off at 2 o'clock in the morning at the firehouse in Kentucky, that was like, oh yeah, we get our whole thing staffed by a bunch of preppers, half of which are veterans, right? And then this alarm goes off at 2 o'clock in the
It
morning,
sounds like an air raid.
and it literally sounds like an air raid siren. And we're like walking around like zombies, like what
We were the worst.
what is going on?
Bob kept
What
going,
is happening?
I feel like I should put pants on. I think I should put pants
Mhm.
on. And I looked down because I was afraid, like, are you not wearing pants? Because I was like, should I? But he just had like sweats on. He felt like he needed to put like real pants on. But he just kept going, I think I should put pants on. And T just went back to sleep. And I was like, it's like on the ground. Like we should actually look this
Oh
up.
yeah, there's the tornado thing.
Yeah, there was a tornado siren.
I went to the radio
Several people
room.
slept through it. Yeah.
I went to the radio room and turned the radio off because I thought it was the damn tones dropping
Right.
again. I was like, I don't know what tone this is, but it is ridiculous.
And I thought it was my bed that had like exploded and was just like
Ice chunk poked a hole in it.
it was doing that like it was so loud because it was coming from the end of my bed, but it was the siren was right outside the door.
That was yeah.
So I kept looking and I kept coming back and looking and I'm like, it's not deflating.
I mean,
what is that noise?
Talk about OODA loop.
I was very disappointed
Everybody's
in all of
OODA
us.
was jacked up. Yeah, and then Bob the next morning he was like, I didn't know what to do because I was standing in the hallway and there's like an air raid going on and it's 2 o'clock in the morning and then Bear Independent comes walking out of the room right past me and like didn't even acknowledge me when I tried to talk to him. And I was like, yeah, man, because I'm here and we're on deployment. He goes, I know this now, but at 2 o'clock in the morning, none of this made any sense.
And the fact that we were there because of a tornado.
Yes, yeah, that was
Our
the...
OODA loop should have been better than another tornado
Yeah.
could come at any time. It was also New Year's Eve.
That's
So it
true.
was really
like-
also weird because it was New Year's Eve.
It was like lightning, tornado.
Oh, there you go.
See, that's why.
Happy belated, brother.
Oh my gosh, it was. I was very disappointed in all of us. Nobody handled it well.
Hey, we survived.
Yeah, we did.
Was Angry Prepper there for that?
I don't think so. I think
No,
had
he wasn't
left.
there for
No,
that.
there's
Oh,
no
that's
there.
right. He'd gone back by then.
Yeah, he went like a couple days before I did.
That's right.
Oh, that was hilarious.
That was crazy. Yeah,
But
well,
apparently, while we're talking, they're just banning everybody from the channel.
No, you have so many freaking bots.
But they're
on
like,
here
all,
right
they're going
now,
crazy
like,
right now.
spamming us like crazy. I'm about to like make everybody in chat a freaking blue wrench. Like,
let's
it's
not
bad.
do that. Let's not do that.
But it is bad. Like,
Actually, I need a blue wrench for sure.
Well, you got to be
Go
on
ahead
the
and
chat.
you have
do
to
it.
I'm
comment.
like the only person on the porch with no electronics.
Well,
in
you're
my
also. That's,
Yeah,
why
that's
you
why you're
can't be a
not-
blue wrench. What friggin' good is it if you're a blue wrench if you don't have electronics in your hand?
I'm never on
You're
the
gonna
chat.
send him a letter and be
Fine,
like,
I don't need the blue
verily,
wrench
we
right
have
now.
informed thee,
I need
thou
a
art
blue
hast
wrench when
been
I'm not
banned. Jody's banning people by snail mail. Bear doesn't like
Next
you.
time I see you comment, you're gone on the next chat, bro. I promise you.
I'm gonna send you a strongly worded postcard.
Super strong. Oh, snap.
Oh man, that's funny.
Tavar got
Delish.
him that time.
That thing's tasty, bro.
did he ban it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my
I think he just had
goodness.
him. I don't think.
Oh, I'm gonna ban him. Oh, no,
What's
okay.
with all the dumbasses, huh? Light attracts dark.
I'm telling you, it's on.
So big dog.
Romans 12:18. Can I make him a line?
Yes.
I'm trying. Other people.
Hey,
get
what's
them.
up, hacks, man? We're being attacked by the bots. It's the Chinese.
I don't know if I can.
No, I think you have to be on as him.
Yeah.
Oh, Romans, comment.
Phelps, you got a light?
Oh yeah, I also buy subs. That's right. I forgot about that.
Let us know if you're not a bot.
I buy subs, and we're being attacked by the Chinese.
Thank you, bro.
Very,
Bear Nation QRF has
Jimmy
been
Carr,
deployed.
he would be good.
very believable. No, I need to know if Jimmy Carr is the comedian Jimmy Carr. It could be the new moon. So, Romans, make a comment.
Yeah, no, it's not saying anything. I'm sure he's like, I don't want to be a blue wrench.
Maybe Romans is a bot.
Could you imagine?
Canadian prepper.
I saw that. I saw that. One-legged prepper.
Really?
Yeah, I think Roman's left.
Yeah,
You're
so
all ready to
Romans
die
can't
now.
be. I also buy likes. I buy all the likes.
Maybe Romans needs
You
to
caught
use snail
me.
mail too.
My my
Hey,
ego
Mark.
Wait, there's
Quick.
Jimmy Carr. Yeah, Jimmy Carr just commented.
My ego-
There he is.
is so huge that I have to buy likes, and there he is.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Ice dispenser sadly disappointed.
Oh, no, it's in the top freezer. It
That one
was
broke.
leaking, and I gotta take it apart and see where it's leaking from. It's just water dripping out of it. So
You should need somebody else to do that for you.
Nah, but nah.
Tested, but
It's
I
in the
gotta
freezer.
find
Yep.
it.
So
There's ice in it.
I'm mostly human. I like that.
That's a lot of work to get through there. Is that a big old dog?
Yep. See him.
Can I buy a blue wrench?
Ego is not your amigo. I agree with that.
Raincat can be a mod.
Where's Rain Cat at?
She's just commented.
Like, scroll up a little bit.
Like,
I'm not a bot. I'm not a bot.
Dudley's back.
Little bastard.
And then I gotta,
So,
like,
so this is actually
Tamar's like, I gotta go do diapers.
I
I'm
totally
tired.
need a pellet gun right now. I could take him out.
so here's the thing. This is actually a really good tactic because
In the truck. Look, he's looking.
sometimes one could allow themselves to seem to get ambushed,
Right there.
to allow the ambushing force to become decisively engaged, only to find out that the force that they ambushed was actually the bait, and they are now part of a larger ambush. In other words, sometimes you got to bait the troll so you can shoot him in the forehead, right? So it's one of my favorite things. When somebody just admitted that they are a bot. It's no, I've seen them. I know they're going nuts over there.
He's ballsy.
Guys, I'm trying to have a conversation over here. There's a mouse over there.
There's a mouse running.
And that side of the porch is amazed that there's a mouse over there, even though there's 4 bags of dog and cat food over there, all open.
Somebody got their
So-
ungovernable shirt today. Woohoo!
The killer dog don't care.
Do we need to give the rat like a weapon? Battle dog?
Oh, she's getting something right now. I promise you that.
Where can we find verses pertaining to self-discipline and motivation?
That's what Romeo was yelling at.
Self-discipline
Potatoes
and
off with our
motivation. Leviticus 19:2. Be
Ring
set apart
Cat's,
as
I'm on
Yahweh
it.
is set
Ring
apart.
Cat's got the power now.
Lesser hell. Favorite symbol. I play Sabians. I like Sabians a lot. I think like Zildjian and Meinl, they sound good. Or some of them sound good. But they're very freaking flimsy. The Zildjian AAs and the AA customs, they break like a lot. And the Meinls are also pretty damn thin, most of them too. And so I like Sabians because they're a thicker symbol. And if you play metal the way I play metal, you're gonna break freaking symbols. And I've broken a lot of symbols. And so I like Sabian. And it's, you know, Sabian and Zildjian go way back. Like there's like, they had like a split and like, you know, Sabian worked for Zildjian and he was like, F you, I'm gonna make my own symbols. And they're like, you'll never make anything out of yourself. And he was like, haha, watch this. And, you know, then my wife has an what are you doing to that poor mouse, honey? Hold that damn thing up so the camera can see it.
How big is this mouse?
What are you doing to this? What are you doing to this mouse?
I'm going home.
Okay. All right. You have fun.
Just know what's behind. I feel like we're behind.
No, I just can't remember if this one still works.
It-
I think it might
It's got ammo.
Oh gosh.
I can hear it, yeah.
What?
I'll test it out, I promise.
So, anyway, I like Sabians. I like them a lot.
Do you like the Romeo 5 for a budget build?
I love the Sig
Yeah,
Romeo
hold on.
5. I absolutely love it. Not only do I think it's the best budget dot site on the market, I think it's one of the best dot sites on the market, including like the aim point. It's freaking well built. It's incredibly well built for the price. It's got excellent battery life.
No, I'm not.
It just works. It's got a good, you know, field of view. It's true 1X. It's weatherproof.
Sound like it worked.
Oh, now you get up.
She's a beast.
Sam's like, what are we doing? Who are we killing, Mom?
I support the right to arm bear. I like that. I like that a lot. All right, y'all.
That'd
We
be a cool
apparently need to murder a mouse with a rifle, and also
Airsoft.
conversely do adult stuff like parenting our children. And don't ask me how these two things work together. But
It is.
It's all the leg in
Spotlight?
Sniper position acquired.
She put a bowl of food over here, and now she's got her rifle leaned up on the chair, waiting for the rat to run out. It's, yeah.
And Sam's like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
So, with that, appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Have a wonderful evening. You guys know your promo codes. Thank you for supporting our small businesses. You want to say bye, dog? What do you say? Battle dog? Okay. Whoa. Don't push my hand like that. I gotta talk to the people. All right. This show is falling apart. Y'all have a wonderful evening. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Shalom.
Desert Jackal's like, no, we need to see the hunt.